I was not always this thing. This screaming darkness trapped in cursed steel. Once I was noble. Once I was divine. They called us the Ascended, warriors chosen by the sun disk of Shurima, transformed into living weapons of celestial power. We were golden gods walking among mortals, and I was among the greatest of them all. My true name is lost now, buried beneath eons of agony. But I remember what I was: a champion, a protector, a hero. I remember my ascension, the searing light of the sun disk pouring through me, rewriting every fiber of my being. The pain was transcendent. When I emerged, I was no longer merely human. I stood taller than any mortal, my form radiant and terrible, wings spreading wide enough to cast entire battalions in shadow. I had been remade in the image of Shurima's ancient protector gods, a living embodiment of divine wrath and righteous judgment. We were Shurima's greatest weapons. Not just soldiers, but legends given form. Where we marched, enemies trembled. Where we fought, empires fell or rose at our command. We brought order to a chaotic world. We carved civilization from the wilderness and protected it from all who would see it burn. For centuries, we were Shurima's sword and shield. We crushed rebellions in distant provinces. We drove back barbarian hordes from the north. We were the Emperor's will made manifest. Unstoppable, incorruptible, eternal. When mortal armies faltered, we did not. When lesser warriors fell, we stood firm. And we were brothers and sisters, fellow Ascended who had sacrificed our humanity for something greater. We fought side by side, bled together, celebrated victories that would be sung about for generations. There was purpose in those days, honor. We were the bulwark that allowed humanity to flourish, and we wore that responsibility with pride. I felt no doubt then. How could I? We were divine. We were perfection. We were necessary. The mortal empires beneath us prospered. Art, culture, learning, all flourished under Shurima's golden age. And we, the Ascended, were the foundation upon which that glory was built. Children sang songs of our deeds. Temples were raised in our honor. To be chosen for ascension was the highest honor any warrior could aspire to. I was content, proud. I believed in what we were, what we represented. Then came Icathia. Icathia was a vassal state on the eastern borders of the empire. For generations, they had known peace and prosperity under Shuriman rule. They had benefited from our protection, from our roads, from our order. But prosperity breeds arrogance, and arrogance breeds foolishness. They wanted independence, They dared to rebel against the empire that had raised them from nothing. At first, it seemed almost quaint. A provincial uprising, nothing more. Shurima had crushed 1,000 such rebellions before. The Emperor was patient, sending diplomats, offering terms. He gave them every chance to lay down their arms and return to the fold. They refused. Worse, they prepared. Whispers reached us of Icathian mages delving into ancient, forbidden places, of excavations beneath their cities, searching for weapons that could challenge even the Ascended. We dismissed them as desperate fantasies. What could mortals possibly find that could stand against gods? Our arrogance was absolute. When diplomacy failed, the order came down. The Shuriman legions would march, and we, the Ascended, would lead them. It would be a show of force, a reminder of the natural order. The Icathians would see us coming, golden and terrible beneath the sun, and they would remember their place. I remember the march to Icathia. Thousands upon thousands of Shuriman soldiers, the greatest army ever assembled, with the Ascended at its head. We were magnificent, unstoppable. The ground itself trembled beneath our passage. The Icathians knew they could not win. Not against us, not against gods. But they had found something in the deep places beneath their land. Something they thought could save them. The first battles were disappointing. Icathian soldiers fought with the desperation of the doomed, but they were still only mortal. Their weapons broke against our armor. Their magic dissipated against our divine forms. We cut through their armies like wheat before the scythe. I felt nothing but contempt for them then. They had thrown away everything for pride, for the illusion of freedom. And now they would pay the price for their foolishness. We pushed deeper into Icathian territory, crushing resistance wherever we found it. Victory was assured. It was only a matter of time before their rebellion would be utterly broken, their cities ground to dust, their names forgotten by history. The Icathian leadership knew this too, and in their desperation, they made a choice that would doom us all. We were converging on their capital when it happened. I was leading the vanguard, eager to end this pointless conflict and return home. The Icathian mages had gathered in their temples, and we could feel their power building. One last, desperate gambit. We expected battle magic, perhaps some ancient artifact, a final, futile gesture of defiance. We did not expect them to tear open reality itself. I will never forget that moment. The sky above Icathia split, not like clouds parting, but like the world was a painting and someone had driven a blade through the canvas. Through that wound, I saw nothing. Not darkness, not emptiness, but unexistence. A hunger that negated reality by its very presence. The void had been unleashed.